You are all warmly welcome to today's session where we are going to discuss the application of AI for NGOs and cooperatives. Okay, so in today's discussion, we'll talk about the introduction to AI for NGOs and cooperatives. We'll talk about challenges and opportunities for AI implementation in this sector. And we'll talk about ethical consideration in the use of AI for NGOs and cooperatives. Then we'll have some successful integration of AI in NGOs and cooperatives. So we'll see some examples of that. Then we'll also talk about AI literacy and capacity in NGOs and cooperatives. Now, I want the sessions to be as interactive as possible, even though there are only a few people that are available for this session. So I'm going to ask questions at some point, and I would love it if everybody would contribute to the discussion. Okay, so that this doesn't become a lecture, but a discussion where everybody is sharing their views. Is that okay? Now, before I even start, can anybody share with me what he thinks AI is? In your own words. Yes, you can just unmute and then speak. Anybody? Okay, so I'm going to assume that everybody here knows what AI is. Okay, but just to reiterate, so AI is um the basically involves training machines to perform human level tasks. Okay, and that cut across all industries. We can train AI, or we can help machines to perform most of the tasks that people can perform. For example, the ability to see is one area that AI is actively improving in. Okay, we can talk about the ability to understand and interpret languages, which is called natural language processing. So AI cut across every aspect of our lives, and it's very important for us to learn about it. So in today's session, we are going to discuss how AI is being used in NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and cooperatives. Okay, so AI is helping or is enhancing operations among NGOs through one by helping them implement AI-driven solutions. Because these organizations have data, they can use or analyze the data to derive insights that can help improve their operations. Okay, they can automate repetitive tasks with AI, like writing letters. There are so many areas, so many activities that are routine and repetitive that can be automated with AI. We can also talk about maximizing or optimizing resource allocation. Okay, because the funds or the resources available to NGOs are limited, it's very important that they make the best use of it. And the best way to do that is to use AI to allocate resources in the right way so that they make sure that they are efficient and then effective. Okay. AI is also enhancing the entire decision making process, because if organizations are making decisions that is based on data, the outcome is very productive. Okay, they can accomplish way more than if they are making decisions that are subjective, that is based on what they feel they know instead of what is in the data. Okay. Is there any question at this point? Any concerns? Any contribution before we move on? Right. If there's none, then we'll look at another aspect of how AI is being used in NGOs, that is empowering outreach and engagement. Okay, so AI is being used to ensure the dissemination or the to make available personalized information. Okay, so information that are targeting a particular group of people that is based on the needs of those groups, and this makes these NGOs very effective because they are not just actively spreading themselves out there, but they are focusing on the people that actually matter with what they actually need. Okay, AI is also helping to analyze community needs and trends. Insight from data can be used to discern what's the needs or the trends among the communities that these NGOs serve is. And then based on that, they can take the appropriate what actions. AI is also helping to improve communication and response, right? AI is ensuring timely and relevant interactions. They are making sure that the right information are reaching the right people at the right time. And that is a very important use case. Now let's talk about ethical and inclusive AI implementation, how NGOs can ensure ethical and inclusive AI implementation. One, they need to follow an ethical guidelines, okay? They need to follow the rules or the guide and ethical guidelines that will govern how AI is used and AI is created. And that includes ensuring fairness, accountability, transparency, and societal impact. We can also talk about promoting inclusivity and accessibility, ensuring that everybody who will be affected directly or indirectly by the implementation or the creation of the AI or the use of the AI is involved in the process. Okay. Then we need to address privacy and data protection concerns. That is very, very important. We ensure that the data that we are using is not exposing harmful information or private information about people, which would be harmful or which can be used to target those individuals. Right. Now let's talk about some of the challenges and opportunities for AI implementation in NGOs. So starting with challenges, we just spoke about data privacy concerns. That is a very important, or that is a challenge that a lot of people or anybody using AI is going to be dealing with. And we need to make sure that the use of data, the privacy of the individuals who are involved is preserved. The security of the data that we use or the information that we are sending out there is ensured. We need to also know that one of the challenges we'll be facing as NGOs is limited financial resources. I spoke about this, and that means that they need to make the best use of what they have, and AI can actually help them do that. They are also going to be facing ethical situations involving bias in the decision making process, and that requires that they adhere to a framework of ethical guidelines. Okay, so these are some of the challenges that NGOs or people implementing AI will face. Now let's look at some of the opportunities. So we talked about enhanced decision making, and I emphasize that decision made by with the use of data would always be more effective than those made from human judgment or just based on subjective what opinions. Okay, so data driven decision making is very important. That's one of the benefits of the use of AI. We can also talk about an increased community engagement because we are personalizing what the content that is sent to each individual. We are addressing the needs of the people that we serve. We can also talk about predictive analytics. AI is being used to what? Predict situations or predict or forecast events, trends before they actually happen so that we can prepare adequately for them. Now, this is also based on the ethical AI practices. I think we've dealt massively on this one as well. We talked about this, but I want to highlight the human-centric approach. It's very important that people are involved in the entire process. Since we are building AI for people, and whatever AI that is created will impact their lives, they need to be involved in the process. Okay, so we need to consider the divergent views that are involved or in the people that we serve and use that when we are creating the AI. So ethical consideration, once again, it's very important. Now we are highlighting on this because following ethical principles is crucial for the success of AI systems. Okay, so no matter the sector, no matter the use case, if those guidelines are not followed, the output, the result is never positive. It's very important that we follow what? Those ethical guidelines, right? Now, how can we empower stakeholders and communities? One, we need to what? Ensure an inclusive participation and representation. Like I said before, anybody that the AI or an AI-based decision would affect should be involved in the process. Another thing is benefit sharing and redistribution. We should strive for equitable distribution of AI benefits so that some people will not be discriminated against. Some people will not receive way more benefit than others. And that is also very important. Then there's a need for capacity building and education. And programs like this are helping to improve that. The more we talk about AI, the more we discuss AI with the various stakeholders that are involved in the process, the the more we can what affect the outcome of the AI system that we are designing. Now, at this point, is there any question? Is there any question?
No, sir.
Any concerns? Okay, so we can move on. Now,
No,
how
sir.
do we
Yeah.
foster accountability and responsibility? One, we need an ethical framework. Could be government provided or one that is designed by the NGOs themselves. And this will be the guideline or provide the guidelines that people who use or create AI will follow. Okay. We need to practice responsible data um, practices or activities, ensuring privacy and security and all that. We need to assess the ethical impact of the use of AI. Okay. So that we know how AI is going to affect the people who will be using the system or the people that we work with. And then we ensure that the outcome or the effect will be positive instead of negative. But any question? Now let's look at some
No.
successful, yes, let's look at some successful application of AI in NGOs and cooperatives. So we can talk about improve operational efficiency. We talked about resource allocation, so optimizing resource allocation. We talk about improved decision making through data analytics. We talked about automating repetitive tasks, and we can also talk about improving response time and service delivery. If we know just what people's needs are, and we have an effective way of targeting just those needs, it will be easier for us to respond quickly. Okay, than if we don't know and we have to try and then figure that one out before. So all these are some of the benefits of the use of AI. We talked about empowering community engagement. We've spoken extensively about personalizing outreach and communication, facilitating inclusive decision-making process, assessing needs of the communities that we serve, and then ensuring transparency and accountability. Okay, so that has also been discussed. Now, how do we use AI to optimize fundraising and resource management? So, AI-driven insights. First, AI-driven insights can help us understand donor behavior, and then we tailor strategies towards. We design strategies that would be geared towards a particular donor to get them to donate more for our cause. And also we can talk about efficient utilization of the resources. So after we've gotten all these resources or the finances from these donors, we use AI to make sure we are optimizing the allocation so that the right things are getting the right money. Okay. AI can also help us identify new funding opportunities that we didn't think about. And that is one thing I use AI for mostly. It helps me come up with ideas. Because if you want to do something and it's very difficult for you to bring some ideas, AI can kick start you. Okay. It can get you into the mood by generating some ideas that you can refine and improve, which will eventually lead to like very good ideas. Then we can talk about the use of AI to monitor and evaluate the impact of the decisions that we take. So we can gather feedback using AI. We can gather feedback about the decision that we've taken or the program that we are running, and then see whether they are yielding a positive or a negative response, or generating or meeting the goals for which they were designed. Okay. Is there any question at this point? Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can.
Right. Now, how do we ensure capacity building and skills development? So, personalized training programs for members. That is very important. AI can help us streamline what the particular needs of our members are, and then we will provide content that they need. AI can help us with identify skill gaps and training needs that we can provide. Okay, because sometimes some organizations want to solve a problem, but at the end of the day, they realize that they are not actually tackling the problem. They are tackling other things they thought were problems. And that is what we are trying to avoid. It results in a waste of resources that could have gone to like solving the real problem. Okay. Now we can also talk about promoting knowledge sharing and collaboration. AI can facilitate knowledge exchange through tools like chatbots, fostering like a culture of continuous learning and innovation. So information about an NGO or the activities of an NGO can be used to train a model that people can interact with, ask questions, and get help. Okay. For example, if there's an NGO that has the sole purpose of like helping people with HIV, right? They can use AI to create systems that will provide accurate, relevant, and timely information about HIV. And I can say that I have worked on a project like this. It's still in the development phase, so it's not out there. And it's a project that we believe is going to have like an impact once it's out there. And the whole idea is supposed to be an NGO. At the end of the day, it will be an NGO that is helping people to get access to relevant information about HIV/AIDS prevention and all that. So these are very practical things that we are learning. We can also talk about, I think we mentioned measuring the impact of the capacity building efforts. By use of AI, we can track just how effective our programs are and then make the needed adjustments that is required. Okay. Now, how do we ensure ethical and inclusive AI implementation? I think this is the most discussed topic among the entire series because it's a very important one. So we've discussed those who were not in the rest of the programs. We talked about bias and fairness in the AI algorithm that we built. We we promote our ethical use of AI for societal good, ensuring data privacy and security, and engaging the relevant stakeholders in AI governance. Okay, these are all very important terms, and we keep re-echoing them. You can see that they are all. I mean, we've been talking about them throughout the entire series. Now, what are the future trends of AI in non-profits and then cooperative sector? So we are going to be seeing a lot more of what data-driven decision making with the use of AI. Okay, AI is going to improve decision making processes, help people. It's going to help in resource allocation. It's going to help in risk management, ensuring that we can forecast risk and then prepare measures even before they come. AI is going to help in personalized engagement so that we make sure that we craft messages that will help somebody donate to our cause. Is there any question at this point before I move on? Any
No.
question? Right. Hey, so should I ask a question? Do you think now, why do you think, or let me ask it this way, do you think ethics is important in AI? And if yes, why? Can anybody help us with that? You can speak your mind freely.
Okay. I think ethics is very important in AI because
Okay.
in every society, please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, this because in every society there are rules and guidelines that is guiding a society or the particular people in a community. So, involving AI or training the machines to do repetitive tasks that they normally do by human being or done by human being, you need to look at the rules and regulations governing uh, the various communities or societies. Then we take them into consideration so that it will not go out of bound or maybe enter into somebody's privacy and leaks information. That's what I think.
Yeah, that is a very good point. Yes, any other person?
Okay, so I think because AI is in a way meant to replace or be like human intelligence. If there are no guidelines around it, it might also just end up behaving like how humans behave by, let me see, I think this afternoon, or was it yesterday, we mentioned something about politics and ethnic groups or something like that, where they'll be biased
Okay.
one group because they are from another group. Yeah, so if there's no ethical uh, any ethics in AI, I think it can also lead to same humans are facing, which is why we are actually creating the AI.
Yeah. So there will be the discrimination. there will be a lot of bias in the system. Okay, because something that was designed, a lot of people complain that ChatGPT doesn't have Ghanaian or African values, which makes sense because it was designed with data from what? The Western world. It wasn't designed with our data. Okay. Now they are trying to improve that, but it's still lacking. Is that okay? Yeah. So all those
Yeah,
points are very valid points.
yeah. I just
Okay.
want to add
So
something a little as well.
yes.
Yeah, so because we are dealing with intelligence, okay, we are dealing with intelligence which is artificial inclined, kind of, and this intelligence is also not, I mean, it's a human being that actually created this intelligence and given that intelligence to a machine. And the idea is that as long as the machine begins to get new data, it can learn, it can leverage on that data and learn from whichever data that it was trained with, and begin to give new insights and also give better improvement of what it was meant for. So what it means is that there is a form of an upgraded version of learning and output. And so if that is the case, and most often in this space, that is why there's these two terms that resonate properly with AI. They call it interpretive and then the explainable AI. All right. What exactly is the AI learning? Can it be interpreted? Can it be explained so that we know what you have learned over time and what you want to do with that result of what it has actually learned? So these are some of the things that we need to be looking at. And so these two terms that I spoke about right now are critically being looked at going forward in terms of the ethical part of AI, added to what you have said already. Yeah, data is key. And so if you are biased about the data, be mindful that the AI is going to learn something very bad, and that can create a different result altogether. I mean, I'm looking at it from the broad sense because some of the AI systems are autonomous systems, which means that they can move around, they can take decisions based on the environment in which they you place them, and so they keep learning whilst they move around the environment. And so once they learn and process that and use that for whatever subsequent outcomes, it might be very dangerous, or the output might be very different from how it was meant earlier for. So these are some of the reasons why ethical part of AI is key, so that when those things comes up, we should be able to trace how the learning was done and the output was coming out, and you must be ready to be responsible for whatever consequences that may comes out of it. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for your contributions. Yeah, because I mean that's what we are talking about. So for example, if you train um a self-driving car with a biased data towards some people, what do you think will happen? Right? It can end up killing people that perhaps blacks because they think okay, those people are not even human beings. So that is very important. The ethic or the ethical part of this whole process is very crucial. It's very, very important that we keep talking about it. We need to keep talking about it every day so that it will sink in, so that people would understand it will become a part of the entire process. Okay. Now, how do we ensure collaborative AI, or what is included in a collaborative AI ecosystem? Okay.
Please,
There
sorry,
should
oh,
be partnership. Yes.
I want to ask a question.
Yes,
Uh,
please go.
is it possible, or we believe that can AI learn our values in a society? Because, for example, there are a lot of, when we look at Ghana, There are a lot of ethnic groups in Ghana, and
Yes.
each of them has different values.
Yes.
So is it possible that AI will learn
Yes.
all those things?
Yeah. So the answer is yes.
And how is it going to be,
Yeah.
or how
So
can is that possible?
yeah. So one thing we've been emphasizing is training AI involves using data, and the information contained in the data is what the AI will learn. Okay. So if you train a model,
All right.
and let's say we are only using the values that guns have, okay, the values that is peculiar to guns, and we've forgotten about Akans and all the other ethnic groups, you realize that there will be a bias, right, towards those people.
Sure.
So therefore, it's very important that the data is inclusive, everybody is represented,
All right.
so that the model will learn about the values of all these people. There is the approach we use, the technical approach is called reinforcement learning with human feedback, basically injecting human values into the training process. Okay, so when how it happens is this: we show AI something and then we get a response from the AI. Now, if the response is positive or negative, we'll let the AI know. We show it, say it,
Oh,
okay, this one is what responsible, this one is a value that human beings share, or the group that we are building the AI for share. And therefore, your answer should be based on those values. That is how we do it. So all these things, I mean, it is really possible, and people are actually doing that right now. Okay, the
wow,
AI they are
wow,
trained, they are
wow.
trying their best to like inject human values into the process.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, is there any other question, concern anywhere? If not, then let's go on. So we are saying that a cooperative AI ecosystem should what enable people to share ideas, right? There should be knowledge sharing, right? It should provide solutions for societal impact. That is also important. It should be there should be a cross-sector collaboration for AI solutions. It should enable people to come up with what ideas that would impact society, that will positively impact or benefit society. It should be open source. Okay, there should be open source AI for non-profit and cooperative use. Basically, we should make AI accessible to everyone, especially when it comes to um, it's used by NGOs and cooperatives, because they are not a profit-making machine. It's very important that what they have access to the data, the technology, and everything that is required for them to also be able to build their own AI systems. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about AI enabled data insight and impact measurement. Okay, so we can use AI to measure the impact of the decision that we make or the program that we come up with. As we talked about, we can talk about real-time data analysis. Now, real-time means that we are directly analyzing the data as they arrive. Okay, so if you have a program, you are looking at how people feel when they use the product. That is very important. That can help like in quick decision making. If you see in real time, okay, for this program, this is how people feel about it, we can course correct and make sure that what we are putting out there is achieving the goal for which it's intended. Okay, we can also talk about AI powered predictive modeling for program effectiveness. Okay, we can predict outcome and then effectiveness of what the program that we put out there, so that we can maximize the impact. So if you know, okay, doing this is going to generate more funds for us, then that is what we do, right? And if another strategy will not lead us to the same outcome, then we reduce that. And at the end of the day, AI will help us automate what? Data-driven storytelling. Okay? And that would impact because a lot of people actually using AI to craft messages, stories that will get more people donating to their cause. This is happening real, like in real, I mean, in the world right now. So if you can use, I've seen a lot of people use that AI to craft messages, tell stories that will touch people's emotions, that will get people to what? Add or contribute to the cause that they have. AI ethics again. So every slide has something about AI ethics. And that tells you just how important AI ethics is. Okay. And how do we build AI literacy and capacity in NGOs and cooperatives? First, they need to what? Understand AI and its applications. And I think right now a lot of people are lacking that. That is why this AI series was very important. Okay. We want to like help people understand how they can benefit from the use of AI across industries, across sectors. And that is why we are actually having this discussion this evening. So if people learn, the more they learn about these things, what the easier it will be for them to what participate. They would learn to use AI because they know it can bring them some benefits, right? They also learn to use some of the tools, which another session, I think another program would walk people through some of the tools that are used or some of the AI tools that we have. So people can be using them themselves. I think, Mr. Gbebe, can you speak more about that? If you're available.
Please, can you come again?
Yes. Can you
Mm.
talk about, I mean, maybe subsequent events that would teach people how to use
Yes,
some of the AI
yes,
tools?
yes, that's true. That's our next event coming. Please watch out for the next event. We'll be dealing with the tools. So we'll pick a tool and then we talk about it. So be in the lookout for it. We would also be doing what we call the prompt engineering, where you can prompt your AI tools and get a better results. And I mean, there's more to it coming. So we'll go back and then give you the appropriate time when it's going to start. And we expect that a lot of participation will be happening on that regard, because we noticed that in the entire series, people are interested in the use of the tools, how they will be able to use those tools, and even some of the tools that they can create themselves. So we'll look at that, because we need to first of all do the basics for people to understand what the space looks like, and that is what we are doing now. So the next stage will be on the use of the tools as we moved on. So it's coming up.
Right. So that also tying with the next point. There's a need for training and capacity building in AI right now. It's the most, I mean, important aspect of this whole AI journey we have. We need to train more people right now, especially from our side of the world. Okay. More people should be learning about AI and should be using AI. And that is why programs like this exist. Okay. Now, I think that in order for us to be successful, the approach should be collaborative. Okay. We should have partnership for AI innovations. There should be a collaboration between NGOs or cooperatives and the general public. Okay. There should be that kind of dialogue and with experts in AI and all that. Because the more we talk, the more we come up with ideas to solve the problem that we have. We can also talk about community engagement and AI awareness, which we are doing right now. We can talk about knowledge sharing and best practices in AI, discussion of all these things. We are also doing that. Empowering local AI champions. That is a little lacking in the Ghanaian context or in Africa in general. The support is not really there, but I think it's getting better than it was before. Right? Does anybody have any experience in this regard that they can share with us?
Yeah, come out with this thing again, your area again. Let me see.
Yeah, so I mean, how organization or how society can what empower local AI champions or people who are like actively developing or at the forefront of the space, the AI space. Is there any
Yes,
experience?
yes. So we need to have an ecosystem because it's a new area. There are a few companies that are jumping on it, and there are a few enthusiasts, who are also loving the idea of getting to understand what this technology is about. And so it needs a gradual education for people to now, come together to say that this is the way to go. And then we begin to raise those champions. We begins to then identify those champions and giving them um, what it takes to make sure that they are seen out there. I know one guy called um, Darlington Akogo is one of the great guys in Ghana doing well in AI space. Um,
Yep.
I spoke about him in one of my presentations. And if you go to LinkedIn right now, you type Darlington Akogo, you will see a lot of things that he's doing. He's into the medical space. I mean, it was a challenge that came, and Mel and Gates Foundation, put up a call for application, and they were looking at how AI can solve some, SDGs issues, and then they turn in their innovations and they've won it. They won the grant. I think there's a certain amount that were awarded to them, and they are doing very well. He's traveling all over the world and doing presentations to people, universities. I mean, all over. So we need to build, that those kind of people, the industry, companies that want to go into that. So the idea is that people who want to go into the space, this is the time. If you want to be innovative, you need to create, companies need to be merging and in the space so that these people would take up the challenge and move on. They may be probably one of those people who will be the lead guys, leaving behind probably the old technology companies that are refusing to evolve, was new advent of technology, I imagine. Yeah, so that's it. We'll see how the the future look
Yeah,
like
so
so soon.
yeah, so I'm also aware, like I know Darlington very well. We actually started together, and I'm aware of some of the challenges he went through those days when he was preaching AI to people. So the idea here is to get more people to even recognize the already existing solutions or people who are making an effort in the space, right? So that they will all be empowered to what? Continue to do more. You get it? Uh-huh. So that is also very important. Right. Is there any other
Yes.
contribution?
Yeah. So one of the reasons AI Center of Excellence, IDEC AI Center of Excellence was open, basically was to harness, these inventions, and also collaborate with entities companies across not only Ghana but outside as well. So currently, as we speak, we are partners with 7W Artificial Intelligence Company in Slovenia, and so they empower somehow to be able to get some of these things running and going in terms of knowledge base, not financially but in knowledge space and all that. So these are some of the things that we can do to also give out to our society and begin to raise champions out of them as well. Yeah. So we'll continue to whip up the interest.
Okay, right. So how do we overcome challenges in AI integration? Okay, we can talk about data privacy and security, ensuring data privacy and security. I think we've discussed this extensively throughout the whole program. Financial consideration for AI adoption. I mean, AI can be expensive, right? So sometimes we need to like support effective AI integrations. Okay, we support this organization, especially when it comes to NGOs, because they are not for profit. They need a lot of support in providing what AI services or integrating AI into their operations. Okay, we can also talk about adapting AI to diverse operational contexts. The application of AI is enormous, as we know. It can be used in so many things, and the limit is only can only be determined by your imagination. We still are discovering new use cases for AI right now. So the more we are open and to some of the use cases, the more use cases we are going to discover as AI continue to evolve, right? We can also talk about change management and stakeholder buy-ins. So we need to implement effective change management strategies to gain stakeholder buy-ins or get more people to fund our cause. Okay, so that more people can buy into the AI, realize AI as a tool for change and not something that will be harmful to them. Okay, so we've spoken about measuring impact and outcome of AI initiative. We've talked about this as well. We've talked about ethics, okay, and policy consideration. At this point, is there any question?
No.
No contribution? Okay, if there's nothing, then I'm handing over to Gloria. Hello.
I think Gloria is mixing in action. Thank you so much
Oh, okay.
for the lecture with us. We love it. Prudence, welcome. Thank you for joining. Um,
Thank you too.
I don't know. I don't know whether the Prudence that I know is the one that is in the call. Is it a Prudence I know from CCP?
No, please. I don't think so.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I know one
Yeah.
Prudence. Also called Prudence.
Oh,
So
okay.
yes. So thank you so much for joining us. It's insightful, and we hope that you utilize the knowledge that has been shared here for the benefit of you yourself, society, and your corporates, or if you have an NGO running, or you want to intend having one in the future. You should be looking at how you should be able to integrate some of these technology just into your operations. We've also said that if you want a certificate to prove that you have attended a workshop like this, please look into the chat area. We have shared an Excel sheet that you can click on and then put your name there. We'll be able to provide you a certificate. The certificate is actually a token of 100 cedis. We've provided all the details that you can use to pay for the certificate, and then we'll get that for you. Um, we know that even having a webinar sections like this on your certificate, it speaks volume of the way you are thinking, and your employers or people who will intend to employ you will know that you're actually thinking currently, and if there's anything like that, or your way of learning is current. And so we want that to be emphasized. So if you need that, you can get some. So go and then fill the form there. We also have a platform called Africosity. So in case you have knowledge in certain areas and you want to deliver lectures on those ones and push them for sale, we'll be able to sell them for you on Africosity. So you can get that to that platform as well. Yeah, you can also share your opinion on what do you call it, what you think about these lectures as well.